This is a See It Played video, and we're back with the Marshals Volume 1, Soult in, or Junot and Soult in Portugal. This is Junot 1808. It is the French option for an operation. And we have two unactivated stacks. This one here in the mountains there, and of course the main French force down in Lisbon. So, having thought about it, the French are not going to go for combat. Are not going to engage the Anglo-Allied forces this turn, which means that the French are going to take a 1 VP penalty. But the way I look at it, if the game were to end now, of course this is only the first turn, but if it were to end now, the French would get 6 for Lisbon anyways, and the Anglo-Allies would just have 1 for this turn, for the French not having initiated combat this turn. So, in that sense, I guess you could say the French have several VP to play with, and I think we're going to sacrifice a VP for this first turn, the 16th of August. So that aside, we're not going to choose combat. The question for the French is what to do with the two unactivated forces. The one in the mountain, the force in the mountain, they're at a great choke point. Actually, they're on a very good choke point. A very good choke point, very good position. One, it is a major choke point. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 routes leave this position. One of them being the main route down to Lisbon, and it's a defensive position. That's the yellow triangle. So it's a very good position. If they didn't stay here, if they did not stay here, moving over here is a good defensive position, but then they're essentially doing nothing. The Anglo-Allies could come right around and threaten Lisbon. If the Anglo-Allied army pulled back one along the route to Lisbon, that is an option. Basically, if they were to pull back here, for example, that would force the Anglo-Allies, not force, it would pressure Anglo-Allies to go around. And if they go here, of course, they can't go directly south. So maybe they would go here, 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 then down, then maybe this way or this way. But the bottom line is it would be a bit of a delay. The other idea is to come back down to the next major choke point, which would be here, this major choke point. But again, it's the same issue of just delaying the Anglo-Allies, as maybe they came and tried to go around like that. I think they will stay here at least one more. Well, I think they'll stay here at least through this turn, this first turn. They actually stay there, so I'll probably choose just not to even activate them this turn. So now we go to the major force in Lisbon, and the idea is to take. Well, the idea is to take Junot and the main French army and try to actually get to Torres Vedras and reinforce the lone artillery there. I'll leave him inverted so I remember that he's been activated, but the lone artillery there in Torres Vedras, straight up the road, 1, 2, 3, 4, should be able to get there no problem. Now the one drawback is that I'm putting Junot, the French commander-in-chief, kind of on the front line. And you know what? I think I'm not going to do that. I think I'm going to split this force up into 2 separate. I'll send a combined arms force, actually a minimum combined arms force, to reinforce Torres Vedras, and then I'll leave the Well, see, that's the thing. If I send Junot and the rest of the main army, that is the non-garrison army, maybe up to here. I mean, this is a nice central location, but what is it really doing? Then again, does the force have to stay in? The force doesn't have to stay in Lisbon, because the British fleet alone can't do anything. It's not like the British fleet can, lay siege to Lisbon or something. So actually the rest of their main force doesn't have to stay here. So maybe I do move Junot and the main force here, which just means it's closer to reinforcing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, actually I will do this. So these are two operations. I'll just do them one after the other because the British won't be doing it. Okay, let's do that. So basically this is going to be an exercise in executing 2 marches, and we'll figure out the whole, basically the odds of doing this type of marching. Oh no, it's okay because we already have artillery here. We can send an infantry and cavalry force up here, which means that they should be okay. Which means they should be okay fatigue-wise. All right, let's see how this plays out. So we'll send the non-commander force up first, and then Junot will take the rest to here. All right. I should say I'll look at moving Junot here with the rest of the force, given how this turns out, getting to Torres Vedras. Okay, with reinforcements. Most important thing is to reinforce the lone artillery there. Okay. Okay, so I've chosen to march ahead only with Charlot's division, which is a weakened, well, I don't know if weakened, but it's a half-strength division. It only has 2 steps. It does have 4 morale, which is good, but it only has 2 steps. But anyways, I'm going to send Charlot forward, try to get to Torres Vedras. See, he has no advantages when drawing fatigue. So this seems... Well, basically, there are no easy choices here, which of course makes it very interesting. Maybe perhaps I'm making it too hard on myself. But anyways, I'm going to chance it. I'm going to send Charlot forward, and I'm going to draw the fatigue markers for each area, and then we'll see how he does. It's luck of the draw and pushing the luck. Okay. So things did not turn out well. Okay, so first thing is when Charlot started here, flip him over with Junot here. Junot's commander-in-chief. When the commander-in-chief is going to take a stack and march, there is no command test. This is also true for a stack that's co-located with the commander-in-chief when it begins its movement or march. So there was no command test for Charlot. So he moves out. He drew 1 fatigue after moving to the first area, which is not bad, and then moved 1 more area and drew a fatigue 3. He cannot put back any, so he has suffered 4 fatigue. His current morale is 4, and so he could go 1 more, but actually he could go 2 more. Okay, how this works is he could go one more, and I could draw a fatigue 0. Then he marches one more to Torres Vedras where I want him to go, and he draws another 0, and everything is fine. He's only taken 4 fatigue, but his morale is 4. Fatigue does not exceed morale. but the chances are so low for that. And the problem is I can't risk him losing a step because he's only a 2-step division. He would go from 2 steps now with a morale of 4 down to only 1 step and a morale of 2. A morale of 2 becomes essentially immobile. Not actually immobile, but in effect, I'm thinking that a 1-step unit, especially at morale 2, becomes essentially immobile. In effect, immobile. Anyways, bottom line is I'm not going to push the luck, so the plan didn't work. Fatigue markers go back. He stays put. Doesn't suffer. He doesn't suffer a step loss, but he's done. Flip him over. Now, it would go to the Anglo Allies, but they have nothing to do. So it's going to come back to the French, and I'm just going to finish off this operations phase. Now, I'm going to have to do what I didn't want to do originally. Wait a minute. I just realized if I move Junot here with the rest of the field force, the field army, if I move it to here with the baggage trains and then leave Junot here, yeah, I guess the remainder of the force could... that's what I'm going to try to do. So I'm going to try to... I will double check real quick that I can peel off the commander-in-chief in this case. This is what I want to do, though. I want to have Junot move with the rest of the field army up here, drop Junot, keep Junot here with Charlot, and have the rest of the field army head up to Torres Vedras. As a matter of fact, oh, wait a minute. It's not really... Oh yeah, I would leave Junot and an artillery unit here. I would send a cavalry and a horse cavalry on. Okay. That's what I want to do. And I guess the baggage trains would not have to, but I think I'll send the baggage train on, even though, there's a risk of putting the baggage trains on the front line as well because of the VP losses. Yeah, if the enemy were to destroy the baggage trains, they're going to get 2 VP for that as well. So there's a risk of putting the baggage trains on the front line as well. All right, well, we'll make the decision as we go because we don't have to. It's not like we have to decide ahead of time. So I'm leaving only the 2 garrison units, which I guess will go on the board now. I'm surprised they don't have simple force markers so that you always... I don't know. I don't need to think about that now. Okay, Junot is going to move. So Junot moves with... He's got dragoons, he's got horse artillery, and he's got field artillery, and he's got the baggage trains. Okay, so this is his force. So he's going to move there to the first area, and I need to make sure that this fatigue pool is completely shuffled. I should point out right now the agonizing somewhat decisions this game already generates. So as you can see, I took 1 fatigue on the first march. I took 2 fatigue on the second march. I really can't risk even, because my dragoons here only have a morale of 4. They will not take a step loss, but they will be stopped. It is just so hard to... on the other hand, I could just easily use the baggage trains to... Okay, I'm actually going to prioritize, I'm not sure this is the right decision, I'm actually going to prioritize protection of the baggage trains over, the commander-in-chief. So using the baggage trains now, I'm going to discard, put back this fatigue 2. So basically the troops ate from the baggage trains to recuperate. Okay, they still have 1 fatigue here though. Okay, so the baggage trains for this march have used that capability. Okay, so now we're going to march on. So now we're going to so I'm going to leave the baggage trains here, and is going to march on, and I'll leave a artillery here. And the horse cavalry and the dragoons are going to push on. Okay. Okay, so we had some good luck. On this next march, we drew just a fatigue 1. And on the last march, we drew another fatigue 1, which actually could be discarded because of Junot's presence. And we got to Torres Vedras. Yes, we did not exceed movement allowance. Now, I think that is so actually, since is there. Now this is what I don't understand. Well, I guess so. I mean, I guess is a command marker there. A commander marker, so I guess all these 3 can go on his commander display area, making this look like 1 unit again. These stay here, also inverted. Goes back to, okay. Not at all what I wanted, but perhaps the best that I could get under the circumstances. All of these trails here make this too hard to get this force over to this area, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. So I will just leave them there. I'll just stick with what I've got. I reinforced the artillery there. Baggage trains are now here. Again, not really what I wanted, but yeah, okay. Yeah, again, not really what I wanted, but I guess the best that I could make out of the situation. All right, so now we'll go on to the, so both sides would be done. So now we're going to go to phase D, administrative. Okay, first step of the administrative phase is we will remove all back to the river and has combated markers. We didn't have any on the board for this turn, but we would remove those. Then we're going to test for recuperation. Non-activated, non-demoralized units with no enemy stack in the zone. So I don't think we're going to have that we're not going to have that this turn, because the only non-activated we have is this force up here, which obviously didn't take any losses, and this one down in Lisbon, which obviously didn't take any losses. I mean, we didn't take any losses this turn at all. So I don't think there's going to be any recuperation. Let me check on that. Okay, even though we don't have any recuperation, what they call recuperation, sounds like going on vacation to the lake or something, but recovery. Okay. Even though even though we don't have any vacations at the lake, I should review this anyways, because I didn't even consider that we actually can recover lost steps. That's pretty significant. Okay, so a unit that has not been activated during the turn is not demoralized, doesn't have a has combated marker, and has no enemy stacked in its zone can test for recovery. Roll 1d6. If the result is less than or equal to the morale of the unit, subtract 1 loss from the unit. Losses due to the creation of garrisons cannot be salvaged. So that's it. That's recovery. So that's actually significant. So there is a reason. So even if Charlot, oh, that is significant. See, even if I had pushed Charlot and Charlot lost a step getting to Torres Vedras, later, especially later, I could have pulled him back to make sure he's in a safe area, and then he could have recouped that lost a step. Of course, he would have to roll in that case a 2 or less, because he would be on his last step, which is 2 morale. You know, only 33% chance, but after 2 turns, you would think that that would be recovered. So that is significant. So these losses, as we go down, our largest units that in this game, anyways, are 6 steps. I see a 7-step unit in the 1809 game. But anyways, in this scenario, we have 6-step units, several 4-step units, some 3 and 2-step units. So recovery of steps is actually pretty significant. Okay, so that is something to bear in mind. But we don't have that this turn, so we'll continue on with the administrative phase. So exactly as it says on the play aid, tests for rallying. Demoralized unit without an enemy stack in the zone. We don't have any of those. And then we're gonna flip all the units to their unactivated side, and we're going to advance the turn marker, and that'll be the end of the first turn, August 16th of this campaign, and we'll advance the marker to the 17th of August.